Hello, Inderes TV listeners and viewers. Oriola reported its second quarter result today, and here in the interview, we have the company's CEO, Katarina Gabrielson, today. Welcome, Katarina.
Thank you, and nice being here.
Nice. In Q2, the revenue and comparable earnings were weaker than the same period last year. So how would you describe the result for the second quarter?
I will still say it's a solid result, because if I look at the core business that we have, that is the distribution of pharmaceutical and traded goods, it was really performing during this quarter. And of course, we have a weakness in the Svensk Dos, but we also knew that we should have that.
Okay, and about the joint ventures result with the Swedish pharmacies showed clear improvement, which was positive. What factors contributed to this?
There is, of course, now that we start the integration, it's so that we can see that starting, but it's also more people in the pharmacies during quarter two than it was in quarter one last year, like we told in the presentation also.
Okay, and you have previously mentioned customer losses in Sweden as one factor contributing to slower market growth. How did the volumes develop in Q2? And did the customer losses reflect in the volume development?
And here it's important that we see like which kind of like business do we talk about? Because if we talk about, like I said before, the core business that we have with pharmaceutical distribution, then it's like this, that there we had more volumes. And that was really like a good performance in both Sweden and Finland, in fact, but also really much in Sweden. If we go then for the dose business, we can see that business lost then customers. So that's where we had some issues.
Lower volumes have previously impacted also to the result. Have you been able to reduce the costs or result mainly depend in the volume?
If I go then for the dose business where we don't have the lower volumes, in that business we have restructured and we have also done and succeeded with that. So we are on the lowest level now on the costs in that business. Then of course we have also always looked at other businesses, and if we look for efficiency in Sweden, for example, we can see that year over year we are on a better efficiency level now than we were last year.
So about the cost inflation, has it still impacted Oriola in Q2? And in Sweden, the transportation costs also increased significantly earlier this year. So have they developed now?
If you look at the cost inflation, you can overall see that it has slowed down a little bit. And I think most of the companies is reporting that now. But in the same time, we can see that we are affected to some extent. When we look at like the employment costs, we know now since the negotiations were done in quarter one what we will see in the future. Transportation cost has gone down a little bit and so on. But we also have the Swedish krona, and the Swedish krona is in fact a little bit, or could be burdensome, depending on how it's like developing in the future. But we are like increasing the prices to mitigate the cost inflation.
And you also restated your guidance for the current year. However, the result for the first half of the year fell below last year's level. What actions will you take to catch up with the guidance during the rest of the year?
I understand that question, because I would most likely have had it myself also. If you see like what we have done during the first half, we will continue to grow the distribution business with the pharmaceutical side and assortment side. And that's the base. And if we look like the markets, that will continue to grow. And we also then go for price increases in this one. We have new customers coming in the distribution business, and that will then also mitigate some of the dose dispensing parts.
The new government program in Finland has outlined the deregulation of the over-the-counter medicines, allowing them to be sold outside of pharmacies. What impact does this have to your business?
Overall, there is a lot of like suggestions in this new regulation in going to pharmacy side, and it's both like price pressure on the pharmaceuticals and the OTC, like you're mentioning here. If we look for the OTC side, we are like experienced with that from Sweden already now. So as I see it, you can say that delivering OTC to groceries is something that we do already in Sweden. So having that learning for us and taking it to Finland will help us a lot.
For sure. Could the transition of the over-the-counter medicines to stores bring logistical challenges for you?
Like I said, we know how to do it from Sweden's side. There will be some changes, so it's more how do we adapt to that? As I see it, we can see that, for example, one thing that happened in Sweden is that you don't distribute single packets, you distribute pallets instead. But that can also be like a volume benefit for us. So we can also like see some more opportunities coming in these areas.
And one more question about it. Are there any advance in terms of distribution channels for the health and wellness products in the logistics?
We already work with the retailers today. So I will say that growing this channel, and I would say we work very well with them today even. So growing this channel is also an opportunity for us when we can then widen our assortment to them.
That's great to hear. So best luck with the rest of the year and thank you for the interview.
Thank you.